And we are back with Rochelle Cross talking about money matters, really. And we were answering questions out of my handy dandy bowl. And I would like to continue doing this because I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I shouldn't look. That it matters because I'm hoping to get through them all anyways. But another one of mine. What is your best advice for your own kid?
For my own son?
Yeah. How old is he again?
He is turning 13 in September.
13. So he's getting to an age now where like money topics are going to be like, I just, there's such a lack of information for kids about money and credit. And like, he's going to want to own a home one day. And all we hear about in common media is, we have we're running such a huge deficit. Our country is so broke. Or we're leaving our kids with all of this debt. They're never going to own a home. For me, I feel like that's a really hard legacy to pass on to my kids. And I don't want them thinking that way. I don't want them thinking like it's impossible for them to own a home because it's going to be, they're going to own homes. If that's what they want.
Yes, of course.
If they want to rent, fine. But if they want to own, they are 100% going to be able to do that because I'm not going to tell them they can.
Right.
So I guess I'm answering my own question saying my piece of advice is don't set your kids up to think that they can't succeed.
Absolutely. Involve them in the Timbit conversation. Start young. Start super young. Don't wait until they're 18, ready to go to school because they're not listening to you at 18. I can tell you that. You probably have them full ears listening to you from the age of like 0 to 10. Yes. And then they're starting to like separate from our parents. Just child development's a little bit of my background.
Yeah.
So they're starting to dissociate from you, detach, and they're depending more on listening to their friends' parents. Their friends' parents have more of a value onto them. I know. It's scary. I got like goosebumps. So yeah, it's
so like parent support groups that get together, share information about things we want to teach each other's kids.
And you know what? There's the village.
There's the village. Okay, so how would you answer the question though? Because I kind of hijacked it. Best advice that you would give your kid at 13?
I think he's on the right track now. He has a little poop scoop business. So right in around March break, he was off school. Yeah. And that was his focus. I think I was over here once and he called me and said, Mom, can I go pick up dog poop? And he was making some money. So good. You know, he's got his little Home Depot bucket and a wagon and a poop scooper and some gloves. And he's ready to get down and dirty to grab.
So your best advice for your kid is go get it.
Go get it. Yeah, learn. Just start doing the businesses.
Do it.
You don't have to have a full plan. I'll support you in any way that I can help line it up.
Yep. And this is another piece of advice that I try to... Yeah.
I just put the post up.
But it's a really valuable piece of advice. Again, it's about empowering our kids to feel like they can do things.
Absolutely.
In a world that keeps telling them that they can't.
Yes, of course.
Right?
They want that anonymity. Oh, I can't even say
and
autonomy. They just want the autonomy to be able to make decisions. I've always believed that Nicholas, even at 2 years old, like any opportunity that I could give him where he could make the decision, I already know the outcome. Like you're going to bed regardless, but do you want to go to bed in red pajamas or blue pajamas?
Yeah.
You pick. So it's setting them up for their decisions, but I'm steering the
ship. Yeah. That's awesome. Very much how a ship actually is steered, by the way. The captain tells you where to go and you steer the ship. Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I steer a ship. That's something that I used to do. Okay. They call it a helm. Yes, a helm. Okay. So this is would you rather question.
I'm so scared.
Mine is probably worse, I'm telling you. Okay, so would you rather have to say every thought out loud? Oh.
I know.
Or every time you spoke, you had to sing a Britney Spears song. Oh.
I know. Because
I see the advantage. Well, I kind of do both already.
There's a lot of singing
there's a lot of sing-songy stuff in my life, and I already say pretty much everything that comes to mind, so my filter is not strong. What would you rather do?
I'd rather sing.
Yeah
Because there's too many situations you just need to Smile and wave.
Yeah, that's probably good.
So if I have to break out and hit me, baby, one more time, I'm doing it.
I honestly, I might rather say everything out loud.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? I love that you're a little different and you picked that one.
Okay, the fact that you just... Okay, so hang on a second before we proceed. You're like, I like that you're a little different. My shirt literally today says "Be different," and it's spelled backwards.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love it. It's good color too.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna find my my question that was like that. Okay, so yours was... Mine is worse.
Okay.
Mine is so much worse. It kind of gross. Okay, so, and for context, I was saying when we were writing these out, for context, a friend of mine in university used to use this question at bars to approach cute boys. Okay, so this is how she would endear herself, just saying. And they always laughed, and it always worked. Okay, so would you rather live in the pocket of a sweaty giant or have to wear a skunk as a bonnet to sleep?
Oh. I'm looking in the pocket. No, just scoop me up and put me in there. Like,
even if it's sweaty?
I would rather... Like
sweaty?
the skunk, though?
I know.
No. Have you ever had your dog get sprayed by a skunk and have to live?
Yes.
No.
It's
every night, go to bed?
It's brutal. You're right.
I'm living in the sweaty pocket.
I love your confidence about the sweaty pocket. And I see your logic, and I agree. I would also, I think, live in the sweaty pocket. It's so stupid. Okay. Okay. All right. Back to serious stuff. What is your most frequently asked question in your line of work, and how do you answer it?
Is my credit that bad? No, I guess not that bad, but they go, is my credit bad? Because people don't know.
Yeah.
If you're not, and if you want to find out what your credit score is, you can call Equifax, you can call TransUnion, you can also, my personal favorites, Borrowell and Credit Karma, because it will break it down. So just look and see, take a peek at it, you know?
Yeah. Excuse me. A lot of apps now too, the banking apps have like the...
Yeah, our favorite one is the mortgage toolbox.
Yeah.
So I think it's run through Dominion Lending, but it's mortgage toolbox, and you can go in there and play around with numbers to find out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if I had 5% for a down payment, what's my mortgage payment look like? Okay. You can put in, like, I think the interest rate's pretty standard, 5.5% for the stress test.
Okay.
Right now, I think it's a little higher than that because of interest rates being a little higher, but that's standard usually. Okay. So it's either 5.25% or added to.
And okay, so that actually, while you were talking, I was thinking about, I think a lot of people don't understand the factors that go into building a profile for a mortgage. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's, yes, your credit is very important, your credit score, but also having that history of payment, right? So how far back do they need to have like a regular salary, a regular income?
Oh, that's a really great question. Yeah. So with the banks, they like to have 2 years credit or 2 years income history. Okay. So 2 years is pretty standard. However, not everybody falls in that cookie cutter, and not everybody wants to have the same employer for 2 years because we're in a changing world, you know? So
some people are entrepreneurs too, right?
Exactly. So if you're falling in the same line of work, let's say you're a nurse and you're working at a hospital, then you're a nurse, you left the hospital and you want to go into the nursing home and you're still using those credentials, we can still use that credit. So within the the history for the last 3 months should be enough, and a pay stub.
Okay.
So as long as we're showing growth and development in our careers, consistency with the payments, then it's looking pretty strong.
Okay. And then other things too are important. So you have your work history and a history of receiving payment. You have your credit history. If you're a renter, they want to make sure that you're paying your rent on time every month, right? These are the kinds of things that they would look at them. And then also the things that you own as well. Like they want to make sure that you actually have assets and that you're not just like burdened with a whole bunch of debt and nothing to show for it. So it's like a whole picture. Like lenders are not just looking at like one thing. They're looking at the person. And they're kind of trying to, your job is to paint a portrait of that person for the lender so that they understand how much risk they're running in lending to that person, right? So like it's, again, I think a lot of people get really kind of scared of the whole credit conversation, not realizing that there is so much other stuff.
You can use your credit for good too, because when you're making those minimum payments, it's going through pre-authorized debit and it's just revolving. You're growing your credit through your phone bill. You're growing your credit every time you make a Visa payment. Just be cognizant of that. And I think that's pretty easy step. It's just setting up the pre-authorized debit. That payment's taken care of. You're not worried about it. And then all you have left really to think about is your job history. And then we can take a look at that.
And that raises the topic too of this notion of like bad credit versus good credit. And I think a lot of people don't realize that there is such a thing as having good credit, good credit or good debt.
If you have a good credit score and you've been behaving with your credit, then you can get a benefit like a better interest rate. So your interest rate is dependent on how you return your payments.
And not all debt is evil.
Not all debt is evil. You can use it for good.
Okay, this one is your question. What if I sign with my realtor and it's not a good fit? Can you break up? I love that. So the laws that dictate how we work, I'm sure you have a similar set of laws, like an act that dictates how you operate. And so ours is the Trust and Real Estate Services Act. That's the set of laws that dictate how we operate. And that is kind of enforced or overseen by the Real Estate Council of Ontario. And so the Real Estate Council of Ontario recently released a booklet that you can actually download online. It's called the RECO Information Guide. You can go online and it's in English, it's in French. You can do residential, commercial, there's different versions of it. And they address this very clearly. So really, when you're hiring a real estate agent, they're gonna have you sign either a representation agreement for buyer or seller, whatever it is that they're doing. And the important thing to know about that is that the terms of that agreement between you and your client or you and your real estate agent, whoever, is that everything in there is discussable. Everything in there is negotiable, really. And some agents, they'll do like a cancellation fee if you want to break up early. Some real estate agents don't. It really comes down to the conversation that you have when you're first putting pen to paper and hiring that person and understanding kind of what the scope of that relationship looks like and how we're going to deal if things should fall apart and we're just not happy in this. If we're not happy in the relationship and we want to break up, then what does that look like? The time to put that into paper is from the beginning. That's in the beginning conversation, so that if it should happen, we know how we're dealing with it. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so that wraps up our time together.
Amazing.
Yeah, it went really fast.
It did.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you come back.
I hope so.
Because I still have so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you, and we will have a little cheers. And looking forward to having you back.
Thank you so much.
All right. See you. Talk to you later.